Welcome back to Fast Freddy RC, and today we're going to do an unboxing video of the new Tamiya Alpine A110 Jagermeister 1973 edition with this Jagermeister livery. I love the look of this car. I love the orange. I love the gold wheels, and the fact that it's on an M-06 chassis is also awesome because, as you know, we've just finished building an M-05 chassis, which we've got to get the body all done on the Yaris. But now that was front wheel drive. This is rear wheel drive. So I'm excited to actually build one of these for you. But I thought I'd do a little bit of history with this because it's kind of interesting. There's not been that many versions of this Alpine. And not many versions. In fact, there's only been two that were ever released on the M-06 chassis. The first Alpine to ever be released was in 1995, and that came on, and that was part 58168, and that was on an M-02 chassis. Now, I don't remember the M-02 chassis at all, but it was a rear-wheel drive, but it only had two monoshocks, one in the front, one in the rear. That was the suspension for it. And there were only three other cars on that chassis. So then when it was re-released again in 2010, it was released on an M-05RA chassis, which was a front-wheel drive chassis, which I always find interesting because this car is a rear-wheel drive car and it was released on a front-wheel drive chassis. So that's interesting. So that was part number 58471. And the last year that was available was 2013. Now then, the M-06 chassis had been around now. I think the M-06 chassis came out in 2010. So this was released. The Alpine A110 71 edition came out in January of 2014. And that was on the M-06 chassis. So it was the first Alpine to be built on the M-06 chassis. Well, fast forward to today, this is now the second version of the Alpine to be produced on the M-06 chassis. So again, super excited to build this and super excited to actually unbox this for you. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I've already removed the plastic just so we can open this up. Let's see what we've got here. Awesome. Look at that. That body is so cool. Love the look of this. I mean, I'm expecting the wheel arches aren't cut out yet. But I'm expecting this to be maybe a little difficult to paint just because of all of the sort of the intricacies of the body itself. But that body looks awesome. That is so cool. Here are all of the chrome pieces, and you can see the lights. Oh, the lights are actually all just built into this. They're still chrome as well. Chrome pieces there for the fog lights, I guess. And then you've got the bumper pieces in there. Some of the mirrors, I think. Yep, mirrors. So I thought they'd be actually clear lenses, but they're actually just modeled in total chrome. That's cool. Then you've got the tire inserts. And then here are two of the tires. Because I know that the tires themselves are different front and rear. They look like the front tires. They're a little thinner. And yep, there's your rear tires. So they're a little wider. I don't know if you can see in the plastic, but they're a little wider tire. That's cool. And then here are the wheels, which you can see you're gonna have to paint them. So I mean, you can see I'm gonna have to paint them to what the specifications are for the wheels, because I think they're gonna look good in the silver and the chrome. Here are some of the chassis pieces, and you can see some of the shock towers, other pieces. It's actually fairly similar to how you build the M-05 chassis, because a lot of these pieces are reminiscent of the box that I did for the Yaris. And then here we have some more of the body pieces. Very cool. And then here's some more body pieces, and of course this is where your motor is going to be mounted, and you can see what you can adjust for depending on what pinion gear and whatnot you've got. So obviously the motor is going to fit in there. Some of the hex pieces for the wheels. Very cool. And then this one, this is obviously part of the body mount option. Some body mounts, body braces, some of the other pieces for the chassis itself. And then this one, not a lot on there. It looks more like it's just like the drive housings for the front and rear. Interesting. And then this one, again, another part of the body. We've got there some braces. Yeah, I don't really recognize a lot of these pieces. That's obviously a servo saver, but it's pretty standard, I guess, but I don't know. But here is the main chassis for that M-06. Yeah, it's going to be kind of cool to build, you know, having just built the M-05, to actually build the rear-wheel drive version, so the M-06. That's very cool. And then here is the, and I won't complete. Oh well, it's still sealed, but I mean that is the Hobbywing 1060 speed controller that the kits are coming with now. And then in here, this is where we're going to find all the goodies. So, here is parts bag C, and you can see that we've got some springs, and once again the springs are even a different color. These look like they're sort of a dusty yellow or gold, and then these are pure silver, and then a lot of the nuts and some double-sided tape and whatnot, so that's in parts bag C. Then we have some of the servo saver pieces. And then in parts bag B, it looks like, well, that's some sort of foam material there. So it looks like some drive shafts, some couplers, the bearings, but again, I have a full set of ball bearings. As I've said many a time, I've never put in the plastic bearings. I always put in bare minimum a full bearing kit. So that's parts bag B. And then for parts bag A, we've got the grease, we've got a motor mount. You can see there's some of the differential gears. That's all in there. More plastic and metal bushings. And then more screws and then some grease. And then in this one, we've got the main gears, or gear, I suppose the gear housing for all of the gears in your differential. This bag is pretty reminiscent of the M-05 chassis as well, so that's cool. And then of course the silver can. So there's our 540 motor. And then in this, we've got some more double-sided tape, some screws, and some body pins. For the body when that's finished. So that's all for that. And then I'll look at that in a minute, but let's go to the stickers. So there's all the decals for the Jagermeister version of this. That is just so cool. Yeah, these look like they're going to be a little time intensive too, because there's a lot of small ones that are going to have to be put on, so I'm going to have to spend some time on it. The body's going to take me a bit of time, I think, in general. And then of course there's the Alpine Jagermeister instructions for some of the fine details, because as I found with the others, if you've got an M-06 chassis, it's this that you're going to have to refer to when you're building it, because this will have the most current information in terms of how to set up the chassis. And then of course we have the M-06 chassis instruction manual, which again is just awesome because I just love how Tamiya lays out all of their instructions. Super easy to read. So this is fantastic. And you can see here, you've got an M-06S, M-06M, or an M-06L. I don't actually know what this car is until I take a look in terms of which way I am supposed to build it. So that's very, very cool. And going through this, I can see that this is again going to be so much fun to put together. So that is the unboxing of the Tamiya Alpine A110 Jagermeister 1973 edition. So please like and subscribe. If you liked what you saw here, let me know. And we will see you in another video.